Okay, yeah, in case anybody wouldn't hear or whatever. Of course, it's been a while. So we're going to kind of zip back over these steps here a little bit. Remember, when you build your computers, I want you to follow these steps. Test and install power supply. Everybody should have done that. You should have gotten familiar with your motherboard. Removed and reinstall the RAM. Confirm that it's in properly. Make sure your CPU fan is in properly. Make sure the CPU fan's connected properly. Y'all checked your mounting holes. Put your mounts in the correct holes. Put plastic standoffs where you need them just to provide support. Should have made sure your screws fit your mounts. Put your faceplate in your case and put your motherboard in. That's where we stopped at, correct? Okay. Now, if you were not here and didn't get to do that, that's kind of what you'll be doing today, or reviewing those steps if somebody else did it to your computer while you were out. Okay. Now we're down to step number 9. Connect your power supply to the motherboard. Your ATX power, your P1, your 20+4 pin. Okay, that's this one. Remember, you have a latch here, a latch here. Make sure you line this up properly. Plug it all the way in. Make sure it latches securely. If you need 20 or 20+4, I think everybody needs the 20+4 out here. I think so. Okay. Then, CPU power. If your motherboard takes it, I think every motherboard out here uses CPU power. That's your 4-pin connector up here. Find your CPU power connector from your power supply. Okay, this particular power supply has an 8-pin connector. Let me untangle this mess. Yeah, it's good to untangle your power supply connectors if they're wadded up. This one has an 8. If your motherboard uses an 8, put an 8 in. I think most everything out here uses 4. You'll separate them. Your power supply may only have a 4. If it has an 8, make sure you use the one that actually fits the CPU power connector. Plug it in, make sure the latch and the clip lines up, snap it in. If it's really difficult to push in, it probably takes the other one. And you'll look at the shape inside of here. Some of them's half moon shape, some of them square. Look at this and make sure you're using the correct one. Okay? Once you get that done, that's all there is to step number 9. Step number 10, install a video card, unless you have integrated video. You'll need to look at your ports on your motherboard. Remember, if a component is built into the motherboard, that's integrated or embedded. It's built onto the board. If it's built onto the board, you'll have connectors here. Does this one have integrated video? No, this one does not. There's no VGA connector, no DVI, no HDMI connector here. So I would have to put a separate video card for this motherboard. I'll pull this board up here. Does this one have integrated video? Right here. Has a VGA connector. So you need, at that step, you need to confirm that your motherboard has integrated video. I may come around and ask you to show me the connector. Okay, once you do that, now you're on step number 11. This is probably one of the most difficult ones of the whole process, because you have to connect your front panel connectors, your power switch, your speaker, if it has a built-in system speaker, your power LED, hard drive LED, and reset to the motherboard. That's all these. It's all these little ones here. Pull this down so this will come on down here. It's all these little connectors right here. And they're labeled. Power may be labeled power switch. It may say on off. It may say soft power. It could say either one of those. Reset. Power LED and hard drive LED. Now the power LED and hard drive LED will have a negative and a positive label on it. In your manual, you will look and see which way negative and positive turns. If you get that turned wrong, it won't hurt anything, it's just the light won't light up. Okay? Now, don't connect anything else. Don't worry about front USB connectors, front audio connectors, case fans, things like that. As you're building these computers, you only hook up what you absolutely have to have. That way if something doesn't work, there's less to disconnect. Okay. Now to figure out where they go. That's the hard part. And it's really not hard. It can just be confusing. This is where you're going to use your manual, and you have to find in your manual where it talks about front panel connectors. And sometimes it's a little difficult to find in your manual, like right now. Okay. Front panel header, FP1. So you have to look on your layout, find where FP1 is, and then look, and if you look right down here, and let me zoom down. If we look, right here's what we're looking for. Power switch, and it's saying this goes across this way. Reset goes this way. Power LED goes this way, negative and positive. Hard drive LED, negative and positive, it goes this way. Okay, if you have a speaker, it would connect up here, right in here. Now, let's find it on the board. Let me find it here. I should look at my layout, but I thought I could find it faster here than looking for the layout, but obviously not. Okay, and if we look right here, it's labeled right here. It's kind of hard to see, but it says FP1. It's also labeled on the board. This back row of labels right here is for the back row of pins. The front row of labels is for the front row of pins. Different motherboards are different ways. Some of you have this board, and you don't have a manual, so you just have to look and find it on the board. Right here, let's see if I can get this to. You see where it says F panel, front panel. Okay, this one has labels right here. Both rows of labels are in the front. So the front row, the furthest outside here row of labels goes on this front row of pins. Right here. The back row of labels goes for this back row of pins. You just have to see, this says power button, so it goes on the back right here on these two. Okay. There's a lot of you have these MSI boards out there. And the way that labeling works, you're looking for, it's usually JFP1, front panel 1, and it'll have, I think it's like this, kind of like that. If you notice, there's one spot right here that does not have a pin. I think it's actually from this end. See, there's no pin right here. That's the key. That's how you have to turn your book and look and see where things go. Then it's labeled, and it's also in your manual. And I think power switch goes here. Then you'll just have to look and see where the rest of the things go. But that wherever that no pin is your key. Okay? All right. What I want everybody to do is I want you to do step 9 and step 9, 10, and 11. Do not go past step 11 today. Wait a minute. When you get those steps finished, raise your hand, let me know. I want to come and check them. And then I'm going to go back and look at your board again, make sure everything's mounted right, make sure your RAM's in properly, make sure your CPU fan's connected up. Okay? We'll go on past this step tomorrow, and you'll actually turn your computers on tomorrow. Okay? Now you may go. Don't forget safety glasses.